My wife couldn't stop talking about Richard, her boss. I thought I was being paranoid until I found the deleted messages and hotel bookings under a fake name. But I didn't confront her. I played it smarter. 9 months after I vanished, she found me. I looked her in the eye and said, "I don't even know who you are. My name is Daniel Cross. I'm 44 years old, and I own 3 pharmacies in the Dallas area. Built them from the ground up over the past 15 years. It's honest work, good money, and I take pride in serving my community. I'm not some corporate suit or high-power executive, just a guy who worked hard to provide for his family." Amanda, my wife, she's 41. We met at a charity gala about 18 years ago. She was working as a junior financial consultant back then, fresh out of grad school with big dreams and this infectious energy that just pulled you in. I was managing my first pharmacy, barely scraping by, but she saw something in me. We got married after 3 years of dating, bought a house in a quiet neighborhood, and had 2 amazing kids. Chloe's 15 now, smart as a whip and already talking about college. Caleb just turned 10, loves baseball more than anything in this world. For years, everything was solid. Amanda climbed the ladder at her firm, eventually making senior financial consultant. I expanded to 3 locations. We were living the American dream, or so I thought. Then about 8 months before everything fell apart, things started changing. Subtle at first, the kind of stuff you tell yourself you're imagining. Amanda started working late more often. Not every night, but enough that I noticed. "Big client," she'd say. "Richard needs me to finish these projections." Richard Hayes, her boss, the senior partner at the firm. 50-something, divorced, one of those guys who still thinks he's in his 30s. She'd mentioned him before, but suddenly his name was everywhere. "Richard thinks we should restructure the portfolio. Richard has this innovative approach. Richard's taking the team to lunch." I try not to let it bother me. People respect their bosses, right? That's normal. But then she started dressing differently. New skirts, tighter blouses, heels she'd never worn to the office before. When I complimented her one morning, she barely looked up from her coffee. "Just felt like updating my wardrobe," she said flatly. The distance grew. She'd come home and head straight for the shower. She stopped asking about my day, stopped telling me about hers beyond surface-level stuff. Our conversations became transactional. "Can you pick up Caleb from practice? Did you pay the electric bill? I'll be late Thursday." Then came the phone thing. Amanda had never been secretive with her phone. For 16 years of marriage, it sat wherever she left it, kitchen counter, nightstand, couch. If it rang while she was busy, she'd ask me to check it. But that changed too. Suddenly the phone was always with her, always face down, always within arm's reach. She'd get texts and her whole face would light up. Then she'd see me watching and the smile would vanish. One night around midnight, I woke up to use the bathroom. Amanda wasn't in bed. I found her in the living room. Phone pressed to her ear, voice low. "No, he's asleep," she whispered. I stood there in the hallway, listening. She laughed softly at something, that intimate kind of laugh she used to save for me. When I walked in, she jumped. "I'll call you back," she said quickly, hanging up. "Couldn't sleep?" I asked. She forced a smile. "Just work stuff. Go back to bed." But it wasn't work stuff. Deep down, I already knew that. The next morning, Amanda acted like nothing had happened. She made breakfast, asked Chloe about her history project, reminded Caleb to pack his gym clothes. The perfect wife and mother routine. But I couldn't shake that midnight phone call from my mind. Over the next 2 weeks, I started paying closer attention. Amanda's schedule became a puzzle I needed to solve. She'd leave for work at 8, come home at 7 or 8 at night. "Client meetings," she'd say. "Richard needs these reports finished." Always Richard. Always some urgent project that couldn't wait. One evening, I decided to test something. "Hey, why don't we grab dinner Friday night?" I suggested. "Just us. Chloe can watch Caleb." Amanda hesitated, scrolling through her phone. "I can't." Richard scheduled a team dinner with a potential investor. "On Friday night." "Big opportunity," she said, not meeting my eyes. "I really need to be there." I nodded slowly. "Sure, no problem." That Friday, after she left wearing a black dress I'd never seen before, I did something I never thought I'd do. I opened the Find My Phone app on my iPad. We'd set up family sharing years ago for the kids, but it tracked all our devices. Amanda's that appeared downtown, but not at any restaurant I recognized. I zoomed in. She was at the Riverside Hotel. My stomach dropped. I sat there staring at that blue dot for 20 minutes. It didn't move. I told myself there could be a reasonable explanation. Maybe the restaurant was in the hotel. Maybe the meeting was in a conference room. But I knew better. She came home past 11 that night. Makeup smudged, hair slightly disheveled. How was dinner? I asked from the couch. Exhausting, she said, kicking off her heels. Richard talks business nonstop. I'm going to shower and crash. I watched her walk upstairs and felt something inside me harden. This wasn't just suspicion anymore. This was real. The next day, I called my old college buddy Cameron Foster. We'd graduated together, stayed in touch over the years. He'd gone into IT security, one of those guys who could find anything digital if you gave him enough time. Cam, I need a favor, I said when he picked up. And it's not the kind I'm proud to ask for. What's going on, Danny? I took a breath. I think Amanda's cheating on me. I need to know for sure. There was silence on the other end, then a heavy sigh. You sure you want to go down this road, man? Sometimes ignorance is easier. I'm already down it, I said. I just need proof. Cameron paused. All right. But Danny, if we find something, there's no going back. I know, I said. That's exactly what I'm counting on. Cameron came over that Saturday while Amanda took the kids to Chloe's soccer game. He brought his laptop and a black duffel bag full of equipment that looked like something out of a spy movie. Cameron set up at my kitchen table. You know this is technically a gray area, right? I didn't hesitate. I don't care about gray areas anymore. I need to know what's happening in my own marriage. He nodded and got to work. First, he showed me how to access our phone records through the carrier's website. The pattern was immediate and damning. Multiple calls to the same number, usually late at night. Text messages sent and received at all hours. Cameron pulled up the number on a reverse lookup site. Richard Hayes, he read from the screen. That's her boss, right? My jaw tightened. Yeah, that's him. But the phone records were just the start. Cameron pulled out a small device. This is a data recovery tool. If Amanda deleted messages from her phone, they might still be in the cloud backup. You have access to her Apple ID. I did. She'd given it to me years ago when we set up the family sharing. Cameron connected to her account and started pulling files. This'll take about an hour. You might want to grab a beer or something. I couldn't drink. Couldn't eat. I just sat there watching the progress bar crawl across his screen, dreading what we'd find, but needing to see it. When the files finished downloading, Cameron's face went grim. Danny, you sure you want to see this? Show me. He turned the laptop toward me. There they were. Dozens of deleted text messages between Amanda and Richard. My eyes scanned through them, each one worse than the last. Dinner was amazing. You're amazing. I can't stop thinking about Thursday. When can I see you again? Tuesday. Same place. Daniel has a Rotary meeting. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My hands shook as I scrolled further. There were plans, coordinates for meetings, coded language that wasn't really coded at all. And then I found the one that made my blood run cold. Amanda had written that she felt terrible lying to me. Richard's response said I deserved to be happy, that he appreciated me more than I did. Amanda agreed, saying she just needed more time to figure things out. I pushed the laptop away and stood up, pacing the kitchen. Cameron watched me quietly, giving me space to process. There's more, he said finally. Hotel reservations. She's been booking rooms under a different name. I found confirmations in her email. How long? My voice came out barely above a whisper. Cameron checked the earliest message. Looks like it started about 6 months ago. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of coming home and kissing me goodnight, of sitting across from me at dinner like everything was normal. I felt sick. Cameron asked quietly, "What do you want to do?" I looked at him, and something shifted inside me. The hurt was there, sure, but beneath it was something harder, colder. Determination. I want copies of everything. Every message, every call log, every hotel reservation. And then I need to talk to a lawyer. Monday morning, I walked into the office of Vincent Shaw, the best divorce attorney in Dallas. Cameron had recommended him, said he was ruthless but fair, the kind of lawyer you wanted in your corner when everything was falling apart. Vincent was in his early 50s, gray hair, sharp suit, and eyes that missed nothing. He gestured for me to sit across from his massive oak desk. Cameron told me a bit about your situation, Vincent said. Walk me through it. I laid out everything. The phone calls, the changed behavior, the hotel locations, and finally, I handed him the flash drive Cameron had prepared. It's all on here. Messages, emails, phone records, everything. Vincent plugged it into his computer and spent several minutes reviewing the files. His expression remained neutral, professional. Finally, he leaned back in his chair. Mr. Cross, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. What you've got here is solid evidence of infidelity. In Texas, while we're a no-fault divorce state, proof of adultery can impact property division and potentially alimony. I don't want her to get a dime more than she's legally entitled to, I said firmly. Understood. First thing we need to do is protect your assets. You own 3 pharmacies, correct? Yes. Built them myself over 15 years. Vincent made notes. Any of them in both your names? 2 are solely under my name. One we purchased together 5 years ago. Good. We'll need a business valuation on all 3. Do you have a prenup? I shook my head. Didn't think I'd need one. Most people don't, but it's not a deal breaker. You mentioned you have joint bank accounts. 1 checking, 1 savings. Vincent leaned forward. Here's what you're going to do today. Go to your bank and withdraw exactly half of what's in those accounts. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Transfer it to a personal account in only your name. Remove her as an authorized user on any credit cards you hold. Won't that tip her off? Possibly, Vincent admitted. But if she catches wind of divorce proceedings and drains those accounts first, you'll be fighting uphill. We move now, move smart. I nodded, absorbing the information. Vincent continued. Next, I need you to document everything going forward. If she comes home late, note the time. If she lies about where she's been, write it down. Keep a journal, but keep it somewhere she won't find it. Maybe at work. I asked the question that had been weighing on me. What about the kids? Chloe's 15, Caleb's 10. How does custody work? Vincent's expression softened slightly. That's where it gets complicated. Texas tends to favor joint custody unless there's evidence of unfitness. The affair doesn't automatically disqualify her as a parent, but the court will consider the children's preferences, especially Chloe's given her age. That hit me hard. I'd have to share custody, watch my kids go back and forth between houses, split holidays. All because Amanda couldn't keep her vows. There's one more thing, Vincent said. At some point, you'll need to confront her. But not yet. Not until we have everything in place. When you do confront her, I want you to do it in a way that gives us maximum advantage. What do you mean? Vincent smiled, and it wasn't friendly. I mean, we catch her red-handed. We make sure there's no room for denial. No way for her to spin this. You'll need patience, but trust me, it'll be worth it. I left Vincent's office with a plan and a renewed sense of purpose. Amanda thought she was being clever, thought she had everything under control. She had no idea what was coming. I followed Vincent's instructions to the letter. That afternoon, I walked into our bank and withdrew exactly half of everything in our joint accounts. $43,000 moved into a new personal account under only my name. I removed Amanda as an authorized user on my credit cards. The bank manager gave me a sympathetic look, like she'd seen this movie before and knew how it ended. At home, I started keeping a journal. Small notebook, kept it locked in my desk drawer at the pharmacy. Every time Amanda came home late, I noted the time. Every lie she told, I wrote it down. Thursday, claimed she was meeting a client for dinner. Her phone showed she was at the Riverside Hotel until 10:30. Friday, said she had to work through lunch. According to Find My Phone, she spent 2 hours at a restaurant across town. The hard part was acting normal, sitting across from her at dinner, asking about her day, pretending I didn't know she was lying through her teeth. Chloe noticed something was off one evening. Dad, you okay? She asked while we loaded the dishwasher. Yeah, sweetheart. Just tired from work. She studied my face. You and Mom seem weird lately. I forced a smile. We're fine. Don't worry about us. But Chloe was 15, not stupid. She knew something was wrong, even if she couldn't put her finger on it. Meanwhile, I kept watching Amanda's email. 2 weeks after my meeting with Vincent, I found what I was looking for. Another hotel reservation, this time for a Wednesday night. Same hotel, same fake name. She'd booked it for the following week. I called Vincent immediately. She's meeting him next Wednesday. Room 847 at the Riverside. Perfect, Vincent said. Here's what we're going to do. I'll have the divorce papers ready. You'll go to the hotel around 8 that evening. I want photographs if possible, witnesses if you can manage it. Then you hand her the papers. Clean, simple, devastating. What about Richard? Vincent's voice turned cold. I've already contacted his wife through a colleague. She'll be receiving her own set of documents and evidence. Let's just say Richard Hayes is about to have a very bad week. That news gave me more satisfaction than it probably should have. Richard thought he could destroy my family without consequences. He was about to learn otherwise. The days leading up to Wednesday crawled by. Amanda was in a good mood, humming while she got ready for work, smiling at her phone. She had no idea the trap was closing around her. Wednesday morning, she kissed me goodbye like always. Don't wait up tonight. Client dinner's probably going to run late. No problem, I said calmly. Have a good time. She left, and I stood there in our kitchen, feeling nothing but cold determination. Tonight, everything would come to an end. Wednesday evening, I told Chloe I had to run an errand. She was watching Caleb anyway. Both of them settled in for a movie night. I drove to the Riverside Hotel with Vincent's words echoing in my head. Clean, simple, devastating. I parked in the back lot and waited. At 7:45, Amanda's car pulled up. She checked her reflection in the rearview mirror, fixed her hair, then walked into the lobby wearing a dress I'd never seen before. 10 minutes later, Richard Hayes arrived in his Mercedes. He was tall, fit for his age, wearing an expensive suit. This was the man my wife chose over me. I waited another 15 minutes, then followed them inside. The lobby was busy with business travelers and tourists. I rode the elevator to the 8th floor, my heart pounding, but my resolve solid as steel. Room 847 was at the end of the hallway. I stood outside the door for a moment, listening. I could hear voices inside, laughter. My wife's laugh, the one she used to share with me. I pulled out my phone, opened a camera app, and knocked. The voices stopped. Footsteps approached. The door opened a few inches, and Amanda's face appeared. For a split second, she smiled, probably expecting room service. Then she saw me. Her face went white. Daniel. I didn't say anything, just pushed the door open wider and stepped inside. Richard was standing by the window, shirt untucked, tie loosened. The room reeked of betrayal. What are you doing here? Amanda's voice came out shaky. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope Vincent had prepared. I came to deliver something. She stared at the envelope like it was a snake. Daniel, I can explain. Save it. I held the papers out to her. Divorce papers. It's all there. The evidence, the timeline, everything. Amanda's hands trembled as she took the envelope. Richard finally found his voice. Look, man, this isn't. I turned to face him, and whatever he saw in my eyes made him shut up. Your wife's getting her own package tomorrow morning, Richard. Courtesy of my lawyer. Hope your career can survive a workplace affair scandal. His face drained of color. You can't. I already did. I looked back at Amanda. She was crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. 6 months, Amanda. 6 months you lied to my face. Came home and kissed me goodnight after being with him. Used our house, our life, as your cover story. Daniel, please. I don't even want to hear it, I said coldly. You made your choice. Now you get to live with it. I pulled out my phone and took a photo of them standing there together in that hotel room. Amanda gasped, but I didn't care. Evidence. Vincent wanted evidence. Everything's in the papers, I continued. My lawyer will be in touch about custody arrangements. You can pick up your things from the house this weekend, when I'm not there. Amanda's voice broke. The kids. We'll be told the truth. Age appropriate, but the truth. I moved toward the door, then stopped. Oh, and Amanda, that secret account you've been transferring money to? The one you thought I didn't know about? My lawyer knows. All of it. Her eyes widened in panic. She'd been skimming money for months, probably planning her exit strategy with Richard. But I'd found that too. I walked out without looking back, leaving them standing there in their broken fantasy. In the elevator going down, I felt lighter than I had in months. The hard part was over. Now came the rebuilding. The next morning, I sat Chloe and Caleb down before school. This was the conversation I've been dreading, but they deserve the truth. Kids, I need to talk to you about something important. I started. Chloe's face went serious immediately. She'd seen this coming. Your mom and I are getting divorced. Caleb's eyes went wide. What? I chose my words carefully. Your mom made some choices that broke our marriage. She's been seeing someone else, her boss from work. I found out, and I can't stay married to someone who lied to me like that. Chloe's jaw tightened. I knew something was wrong. How long? About 6 months. 6 months. Chloe's voice rose. She's been lying to us for 6 months. Caleb started crying. I pulled him close. Hey, buddy. This isn't your fault. None of this is your fault. Your mom and I both love you very much. That's never going to change. But we won't all live together anymore, he asked through tears. No, I said honestly. But you'll still see both of us. We're working out the details. Chloe stood up abruptly. I don't want to see her. Chloe. No, Dad. She destroyed our family. She lied to your face every single day. I'm 15, not stupid. I get to choose who I want to live with, and I choose you. Her words hit me harder than I expected. My daughter, taking my side without hesitation. You don't have to decide right now. I already did, she said firmly. Then she hugged me tight. I'm sorry this happened to you, Dad. That afternoon, Amanda came to the house while I was at work. She packed her things and left her key on the kitchen counter. She tried calling me 17 times. I didn't answer once. By Friday, the news had spread. Richard Hayes had been placed on administrative leave from the financial firm, pending an investigation. Apparently, company policy strictly prohibited relationships between senior partners and subordinates. His wife had filed for divorce and taken their 2 kids to her parents' house in Austin. Amanda lost her job too. The firm couldn't keep her after the scandal broke. She destroyed her career along with our marriage. Vincent called with an update. Amanda's lawyer wants to negotiate. She's asking for spousal support and half of everything, including the pharmacies. I laughed bitterly. She can ask all she wants. That's what I told them. We've got proof of adultery and financial misconduct. She drained $15,000 from the joint account before you moved your half. Her lawyer knows they're fighting uphill. Within 2 weeks, we had a settlement. Amanda got the house, since I didn't want it anyway. Too many memories. I kept all 3 pharmacies, my retirement accounts, and primary custody of both kids. She'd get them every other weekend, if they wanted to go. Chloe had already made it clear she didn't. No alimony. No splitting my business. Amanda signed everything without a fight. She knew she'd lost. With the divorce filed and custody settled, I made a decision. I was leaving Dallas. Too many memories. Too many people who knew what happened. Too many chances of running into Amanda or Richard. I needed a fresh start. Cameron helped me line up a new position at a pharmaceutical company in Portland, Oregon. Better pay, better benefits, a chance to start over. I sold 2 of my pharmacies and kept one, hiring a manager to run it remotely. The money from the sales set me up comfortably for the future. Chloe was excited about the move. New school, new people, new everything. When do we leave? End of the month. Think you can be ready? I've been ready since you caught Mom cheating, she said bluntly. Caleb was harder to convince. He didn't want to leave his friends, his baseball team, his room. But kids are resilient, and eventually, he came around. I closed my social media accounts, changed my phone number, set up a new email address. Anyone who needed to reach me could go through my lawyer. I wasn't interested in explanations, apologies, or drama. I was done with all of it. The day we left Dallas, I didn't look back. Loaded up the moving truck, strapped the kids in my SUV, and drove north. Amanda tried to stop by that morning to say goodbye to the kids, but I'd already left an hour early. She could see them on her scheduled weekends, if she wanted to make the trip to Oregon. Portland was everything Dallas wasn't. Cooler weather, different pace, people who didn't know my history. I bought a house in a quiet neighborhood with good schools. Chloe made friends almost immediately. Caleb joined a baseball league and started smiling again. My new job was challenging in the best way. I threw myself into work, into being present for my kids, into building a life that had nothing to do with Amanda or the past. Vincent handled the final divorce paperwork remotely. Everything was finalized 4 months after I'd caught Amanda at that hotel. The judge signed off on our settlement, and just like that, 16 years of marriage were officially over. I didn't feel sad, didn't feel much of anything except relief. Amanda had made her choice, and I'd made mine. She could live with the consequences while I moved forward. Some nights, I'd sit on my new back porch, beer in hand, and think about how different my life looked now. Better different. Freer different. The kind of different that comes from cutting out the rot before it spreads. I was 44 years old, divorced, and starting over. And for the first time in months, I felt like myself again. 9 months passed in Portland. 9 months of rebuilding, of finding myself again, of being the father my kids needed. The pharmaceutical company I worked for valued my expertise, and I'd already been promoted as senior operations manager. The pharmacy I still owned back in Dallas was thriving under my manager's leadership, sending me monthly profits that padded my savings nicely. Chloe was flourishing. Straight A's, new friends, even started dating a kid from her debate team. She'd grown stronger through all of this, more independent. Sometimes I'd catch her looking at me with this expression, like she was proud of how I'd handled everything. Caleb had joined a travel baseball team and was loving it. His coach said he had real potential. The kid smiled more now, laughed easier. The wound of the divorce was healing. As for me, I'd started dating again. Nothing serious, just coffee here and there with a nurse I'd met through work. Her name was Jennifer, and she had 2 kids from a previous marriage, a daughter Chloe's age and a son a year younger than Caleb. We took things slow, but there was something genuine there, something honest. One Saturday, Jennifer and I took all 4 kids hiking. Watching them interact, joking around, helping each other over rough patches on the trail, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Hope for the future. That evening, after I'd dropped Jennifer and her kids off at their place, Chloe asked me about her. "You really like her, don't you, Dad?" I considered the question. "Yeah, I do. Does that bother you?" "No," Chloe said thoughtfully. "You deserve to be happy. After everything Mom put you through, you deserve someone who treats you right." My daughter's maturity never ceased to amaze me. "Thanks, sweetheart. Just don't rush into anything," she added with a grin. "I'm not ready to call anyone stepmom yet." I laughed. Deal. Amanda had tried reaching out a few times through email. Long messages full of apologies and explanations I didn't read. Vincent forwarded them to me with brief notes. More of the same. "Your call if you want to respond." I never did. There was nothing she could say that would change anything. The past was the past, and I was focused on the future. One thing that did surprise me was hearing that Richard Hayes had moved to another state after his divorce finalized. Colorado, someone said. His career in Dallas was finished, his reputation destroyed. Good riddance. Amanda, according to Chloe, who'd heard from friends back in Dallas, was working as a receptionist at a dental office. A far cry from her senior consultant position. She tried to rebuild bridges with Chloe through texts, but my daughter kept her responses brief and infrequent. "I'm not ready to forgive her," Chloe told me one night. "Maybe someday, but not now." "That's your choice to make," I said. No pressure either way. Life had settled into a good rhythm. Work, kids, the occasional date with Jennifer. Simple, honest, drama-free. Exactly what I needed. It happened on a random Tuesday evening. I'd taken the kids out for dinner at a small coffee shop we'd discovered near our house. Great burgers, good atmosphere. We were laughing about something Caleb's teacher had said when I noticed someone staring at our table from across the room. Amanda. My stomach dropped. What were the odds? Portland was over 1,000 miles from Dallas. How did she even find me here? She stood up and started walking toward her table. Chloe saw her first, and her whole body tensed. "What is she doing here?" Chloe hissed. Amanda reached our table, looking thinner than I remembered, older. Her eyes were red-rimmed like she'd been crying. "Daniel, I can't believe I found you." I kept my voice calm, controlled. "Amanda, I've been looking for you for 9 months, she said, her voice shaking. 9 months of calling, searching, trying to find where you went. I finally tracked you down through an old colleague who knew someone at your new company. And why exactly were you looking for me?" I asked, my tone flat. "Because I needed to see you. To explain. To apologize properly." She glanced at the kids. "Can we talk? Alone?" Chloe spoke up before I could answer. "We don't want to hear it, Mom." Amanda's face crumpled. "Chloe, please. I made a terrible mistake. I've lost everything. My job, my friends, my family. I just want a chance to make things right." I stood up slowly, making sure I had everyone's attention. "Amanda, you had 9 months to think about what you did. I had 9 months to build a new life without you. So let me make this very clear." I looked her directly in the eyes, feeling nothing but cold indifference. "I don't even know who you are." She gasped like I'd slapped her. "Daniel, please. You made your choices. You lied for 6 months, destroyed our marriage, broke our children's trust. Those were your decisions. Now you get to live with them." "But I love you," she whispered desperately. "I made a mistake. Can't you forgive me?" I shook my head. "Love isn't the issue. Trust is. And you destroyed that completely. There's nothing left to save, Amanda. There hasn't been for a long time." Jennifer chose that moment to walk in a coffee shop. We'd planned to meet up after dinner for drinks. She saw the situation immediately and came over. Everything okay here, Daniel? Jennifer asked, placing a protective hand on my shoulder. Amanda's eyes widened, taking in Jennifer, then flicking to the kids who were clearly comfortable with her presence. You've moved on. Yes, I said simply. I have. Amanda looked between Jennifer and me, then at Chloe and Caleb. Reality was finally setting in. She'd spent 9 months searching for me, probably building up some fantasy of reconciliation, only to find that I'd built a whole new life without her. I should go, Amanda said quietly, tears streaming down her face. Yeah, I agreed. You should. She turned and walked out of the coffee shop. I watched her go, feeling nothing but relief that this chapter was truly closed. Jennifer squeezed my shoulder. You okay? Better than okay, I said honestly. I looked at my kids, at this woman who'd brought light back into my life, at the future we were building together. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Chloe smiled at me, and I knew she understood. The past was behind us. Amanda could chase her regrets all she wanted, but we were moving forward, together, as a family, towards something better.